Uh, Hey, what's up? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the ManokAdobo stream 2, Great Ace Attorney 2, Resolve. We're in the middle of Case 3. We're about to finish the second day of investigation, but there's quite a bit left. And, last time, we investigated the forensic lab, officially in charge of the investigation into, Mr. Hairbrain's experiment. Now that the Protection Act has been lifted, we were able to investigate it a little bit. And there's some interesting findings, and we're not only that, but also on the trail of the engineer who created the dang thing. I have a feeling that we're gonna get down to the bottom of that too as well. But I'm also curious. I'm curious how that skeleton in the back had gotten such rockin' hair since last week. I guess he just forgot to shave. And I'm also curious what role Miss Scythe here plays in all of this. Technically new character, but she's also, I'm assuming, existed since the first game. Why is she just coming up now? Well, all this talk about the Baron's reputation as the Reaper starts coming into question. I'm gonna refrain from making connections preemptively, but it's, you know, every time there's a new character, I know better than to trust anything in an Ace Attorney game. Let's see, let's go, let's play. Yeah. So, I should be able to just continue here. Forensic Laboratory, here we go. Now, I believe we're done investigating the lab. We learned about Scythe. We learned that she has a daughter wearing a gas mask. Very Doctor Who, I like it. But I fear for my life, so let's get out of here. I believe what we need to do next is head over to Madame Tuspel's, because we need to make some contact with Herlock Sholmes, and he should be around here. I don't know. You know exactly what reference I was going for. I actually named the last VOD that on the YouTubes. 23rd October, Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxworks. Oh, we get to see Madame Tuspel again. Somebody get the bat. I need it. Chat, I give you permission to bonk me. Help.
Here we are again at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't gotten used to the place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery, of course.
When you're scared you want candy, of course. Suzato-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Oh, if only Iris was here. So dudes, what's up, Evan?
Eek!
What's the matter?
Look, Mr. Dahardo! Look at the waxwork!
Oh, that's just Herlock.
I'm quite sure it wasn't there before.
Well, about that one. About that one.
It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes, down to the very last detail.
Aha!
What is it?
Oh, sorry, I think you'll find. And that's the temporary waxwork himself. Hey, you can kick it. Suzato, go kick it. Go toss it. Do whatever you want to it. It's fake. What's up, Madame Tuspel? How you doing?
Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee.
Oh, yes, hello again. It's, Ryunosuke? Ryunosuke Naruhodo?
I must say, I am quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. A marvel.
Now, as a waxwork or as a specimen of a human being? Because, you know, I know a lot of people on Twitter that would agree with that.
My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs.
You don't mean... Oh, the stolen one? Really? You know, I had some ideas about where the game was going with that, but now I'm not so sure. Why was it gone?
But yes, the mystery is solved already.
Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. When he actually tries. Don't underestimate Sholmes. That's exactly why nobody suspects. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition nor Sholmes' brain actually functioning. He just takes all, like, 5 cells and congregates them into one place, uses them, activates them all at once. Because even though A normal person only uses 10% of his brain at the same time. Their brain at the same time. Sholmes can use the entirety of it.
So, as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties.
Yes.
His habitual duties? Hello? Do not disturb, huh?
Oh my. Poor Susato-san. She looks very perplexed. You know, if I was just thrust into this museum with no context. Yeah, no. I was confused even with explanations of everything here. Speaking of Herlock Sholmes, we're just gonna leave him over there, I guess. Alright, he can just be a waxwork statue for a little bit. Nobody suspects, nobody expects. And I bet y'all didn't expect this. Let me just announce real quick. I forgot to say this. I was actually made aware of this last time I played Great Ace Attorney. But before I forget, it all comes back together. Remember how I said that Herlock Sholmes actually originated, like, the name change originated from Maurice LeBlanc, creator of Arsène Lupin, switching around the name in order to avoid copyright. So, you know, avoiding copyright in this day and age ends up being an homage to that. Well, ironically, speaking of Lupin, there's another copyright infringing Lupin. Lupin the Third. And you're reading that right. The next season of the Lupin the Third anime, still going after all these years, by the way, is gonna have Sherlock Holmes in it as, I guess, Lupin's rival. So it's like, we're back to Lupin versus Holmes all over again. The one that Maurice LeBlanc himself could not provide. It's just Lupin's supposed grandson that not even Lupin the Third can really prove. I just thought that was really funny. Not even Capcom could get Sherlock Holmes, but Lupin the Third, easy peasy. If they dub this, I bet they'll change it back to Sholmes. Or rather, they'll change it to Sholmes. And we're just... time is a flat circle, going round and round. Where it stops, nobody knows. Let's go examine everything, shall we? Let's see if Sholmes will be responsive today. Unless it really is a wax sculpture. This time. Need to rewatch Doctor Who again? Haven't watched it since Capaldi. Ah, yeah. Honestly, I need to catch up to Capaldi myself, but from what I've seen, especially during his second season, it's the Doctor Who that I missed from the David Tennant era, back when the Doctor was a Doctor Who fanboy. I've also heard that the current Doctor is stepping down, Jodie Whittaker. So I am very curious what's gonna happen to the series afterwards, because I think even the showrunner is retiring. So, I'm just excited for big changes in Doctor Who, whenever it's something that grand of a scale, you know?
We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again.
It has been months.
But where is he?
I missed that animation. Look at him go.
What's that singing?
I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually.
Oh! What do you...
Whoa.
Indeed, my dear fellows! It is I!
Herlock, that's not proper English. Hey! What's up, Hurley? How you been? How's your knees? Still sore from Iris's kick?
The world-famous great detective in waxwork, Herlock Sholmes! Impressed? Speechless, oh.
Susato-san? Susato-san?
Susato-san!
Good job, Herlock. Now we have another murder mystery in our hands.
You scared her to death. She just came back, man. My most humble apologies.
Oh, she's fine. Waxwork? You wouldn't introduce yourself as that. Sholmes would.
I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment. Via London.
Paradise is a wax figure of Herlock Sholmes coming to life? You know what, Susato? You can interpret paradise as however you want.
My dear madame, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point.
Does it taste like candy?
As long as it's not of questionable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume.
Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Pie. Though I confess, it's only cherry flavor.
What's wrong with cherry flavor, Mr. Sholmes?
I much prefer apple. I hear it can cure insomnia. I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter.
Sholmes! How can you be a waxwork if your stomach's all rumbly?
Sholmes! What did I just say?
Man, between this and the escapades, they're really getting mileage out of that stomach rumble sound effect.
That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So, how did you manage to solve it so quickly?
Well, do you remember that I said it was largely solved? Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. You know who the culprit was? Where? Where'd you meet? Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? And do you have any games on yours?
No. Yes?
Oh, yes. It's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet.
Man, I wonder if this is still the era where phone numbers were literally like, oh yeah, just give me a dial. I'm phone number 7. Yep, the 7th number in the phone book. Just look me up sometime.
This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned.
Wow, they let you answer the phone?
No! But I insisted.
Monsieur Sholmes would not give back the telephone. He talked to the criminal all by himself. I did not even hear how the criminal sounded like.
That's amazing! It's not amazing, but it is amazing. I'm suspicious.
Just between you and I.
Telephones can also converse, yes. What do you think the audio quality sounded like on telephones back then? It must have sounded even worse than like...
Yes, of course. I have the 200 pounds. It would appear the culprit has always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event.
Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no?
Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive.
Maybe it is still going the way I thought it was.
But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary?
Don't deflate the man's bubble. He might deflate as well.
A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tespels at all costs. Or else I might not get paid. You do want us to live in our flat for the next month, right? Let me pay the rent. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all.
Poor Iris.
Poor us, we live in his flat.
Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork?
A little bit. So I will say, at this point in the game, I'm being a little careful to not accidentally proceed where I should not. So I did look up a walkthrough just to see One, how much more there was left in the investigation, and that's why I was convinced that we had enough content for another stream. And two, what I should do in order to not accidentally progress the dialogue. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down.
Oh?
Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine.
Imagine going back in time and calling Alexander Graham Bell moments before the demonstration. Hello? Hello? Who is this? How do you have access to my device? Oh yeah, I'm here to warn you. Do not invent the telephone. It starts a whole domino chain of inventions all the way to social media. And we're better off without that. Please, please, whatever you do, destroy your invention right now.
A swindler and an engineer? Quite the modern man.
I feel called out. I'm an engineer. Software engineer, at least. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. True C. Wright's great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, apparently. No, not really. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. Unless you think it was revealed that Drebber is just a fake name and his real name is like Grammari the First. Wouldn't that be something? But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas?
I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data.
So is that why you never have any Sholmes?
Ooh! If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help.
Well, it just so happens to be we've got a photograph of the man, and I will say he has some fabulous hair. Look at that. I won't show it yet, though. Yes, Drebber's appearance.
Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach.
So if I show him any evidence, he might eat it. Uh-oh.
As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it.
Well, what about Kazuma, though? Both Ryunosuke and Susato have convinced themselves that Baroque Van Ziek's new apprentice is Kazuma? With amnesia? What? That is such like a soap opera drama thing, but what? I believed he was dead for 2 years. You can't do this to me, gang. Bringing him back? Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us?
My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship. Your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Indeed, and wherein lies the problem?
We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi.
You're quite sure? He doesn't have a twin brother or something like that. This is a Marvel Comics universe. You didn't pull him from the multiverse. Ooh, do not get me started on the multiverse. I haven't even finished watching Loki yet.
Sholmes, what are you talking about? I'm just imagining Sholmes is like Genie from Aladdin, where he constantly refers to the future, and everybody else just accepts it as his weird ramblings. I'm going to Disneyland.
He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure it was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead.
Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all? Priceless! I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. ManokAdobo?
Yeah, no. I can believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake. Not you, Mr. Sholmes.
I put faith in you. I thought you were my friend.
I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Rule number 1. The doctor lies.
Please, Mr. Sholmes.
Stop. You're not making any sense. Stop saying weird things. I don't understand. What is a Doctor Who? What's a telephone? What's social media? Ah!
Tomorrow in court, you'll find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say.
Huh. Now I'm starting to wonder. All the times that Herlock Sholmes conveniently made excuses to not join us in the middle of court. Maybe he knew that people of the likes of Magnus McGilded, Cosly McGundle.
Man, every time I mention anybody from the first game, I have to say both the original and the localized name. For people who may have come from watching my first series, or people who maybe played the first game themselves. Hey, I like it. It's like Sane's Undertale, but it's Cosly McGundle, Magnus McGilded. That's his full name. Introduced himself that way every time. I wonder if he just knows there's a connection and he doesn't want any chance that he'll be connected back to the Kazuma Osogi case. Well, we have two options. Well, the curtain isn't anything new. We have one option. That's to show him the photograph of Drebber here. What social media? What is this twittering you're doing? Stop it, Sholmes! Stop it! You're scaring Susato! She's about to faint again!
Okay. I'll just make sure. I'll tell you when you're ready.
Mr. Sholmes, could you cast your eyes over this photographic print?
It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber. The face of the engineer we seek.
Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course.
Sure, I guess.
So, looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive?
Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes?
Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Ah, very interesting indeed.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
I have a suggestion, Mr. ManokAdobo. Will you indulge me?
Oh, what is it?
Man's avoiding the conflict. I don't have a good feeling about this.
His batteries are running low.
Sholmes bot shutting down.
Really was a wax figure with robotics in it. Just Sholmes' latest invention.
As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned. And I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains.
Oh, yes. The Professor exhibit, isn't it? It looks like Drebber, doesn't it?
Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price, you understand?
Sholmes, did Tuspel give you permission to accept payment for the exhibits?
No, you have to pay her as well. What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor?
At this point, I'm morbidly curious. The only thing that'll surprise me at this point is if the Professor's waxwork statue actually looks like, I don't know, me or something. Because I fully expect it to be Drebber at this point. Or the investor dude.
One of those.
Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps you could postpone?
The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it.
Sholmes, stop trying to weasel money out of us. We live at your place. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes?
Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness.
I don't know, chat. What do you think? Judging by the subtle curvature of his lips, he might be in Viva mode right now. Hurry, kiss him! Kiss him now! William Shamster, welcome on in. Yeah, stick your finger in his mouth. Just like...
Was that quite necessary?
I needed to see if you were serious. You're very serious. You didn't even laugh at that. Just stands there and lets us just like... I can never tell with you. That's the point.
Very well. It couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. Don't pay him!
Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit.
I hope I don't have to pay Susato back. Huh. Through those heavy curtains at last. Alright, who is it? Show me the money, baby! Can I get a drum roll, please? 5 shillings we had to pay. It doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it? You're just realizing this now.
No. We could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills.
That's illegal. That's pickpocketing. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Can we use another word besides diddling? Please. Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors. This is some sort of video game at this point.
Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think.
Pretty normal efficient ships, I think. Alright, let's open it.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
What? Sholmes? Sholmes? I want my 5 shillings back. I need it back right now. That's a ripoff. Wait a minute. What is this? Who is that?
Oh dear. I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here.
Miss Susato! I say we turn our heels and go straight home. Via a really big confectionery.
We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already.
You paid 5 shillings. True. Actually, now that I'm looking a little more closely, we've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. 139. Write that down. It's got to be important. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. It's a nightmare! We paid.
This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved.
I like the owl in the back. Oh, it's blinking. Excuse me, Mr. Owl? How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Fizzy Pop? Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we?
Yes, we will get what we paid for.
Is that fear or frustration that's making Susato-san's voice tremble? A little bit of column A. And all of column B. Try some of column A. Try all of column B. I want a good look at this guy. I have a sneaking suspicion he might have... I don't know why, but if he has a hole in his chest, that could be very telling.
This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real.
Nice pants, by the way. It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat.
And he has a large shovel in his hand, too. Look.
Shovel or a spade? Let's not start that again. Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail. Hello? Oh, I'm scared. Will it be there? Will there be a hole? I can't tell. Okay, there's no hole. There's a camera, though. What's this here? For the accolade? Oh, I still haven't gotten that yet, have I? Well, let's do it.
Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera.
You've had enough experience with those, Susato. Many, many memos of experience.
A camera, but it's so small.
British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints?
I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera?
I wonder. Another reporter? Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film.
We're just playing frickin'.
Why can't I remember the name of that Nintendo ghost picture-taking game?
We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. Small.
You call that small? Oh, 19th century technology. Camera from the neck of Westbury in the West. Blah, blah, blah.
By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken.
You think this is a real camera? Not just an exhibit? What's a photographic plate?
It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look.
How about do that in the dark, or else you're just gonna ruin it? You should see yourself, Susato-san. Your eyes are shining. Oh, well, that's just how she looks all the time. Isn't she a treasure? You really do like machinery, don't you? Take a look at that spade. I mean, it's got a nice shade to it. It's gotta be a spade. Pretty low poly, too. Open the camera. What could go wrong? Just expose the whole thing, why don't you? Susato knows enough about cameras, but not quite enough.
What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard in the middle of the night?
Sounds like a riddle. Miss Susato.
Oh no. Oh no, you're not starting that again.
What? I said nothing.
No, it is a shovel. Yes?
That's a spade, isn't it?
I told you stop. No, it's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
We've been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel.
No. Although, we haven't considered trowels. It's definitely not one of those. Those are handheld.
We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement.
So we're going to bury the hatchet? No, the shovel! You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. Oh, make it stop. Don't make it stop. I love it. Is this the mark of an Ace Attorney fan? We just enjoy the pain. That's quite a large lamp the man's carrying. Or is it a lantern? It's not unlike a Japanese choshin paper lantern, actually, is it?
Lantern, choshin. The point is, it casts very little light. To be walking alone in a graveyard at night with only this. I certainly couldn't do it.
I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all. Even in broad daylight, to be honest. Choshin. Wait a minute. Yeah, Choshin. I knew that already. Because the Pokemon Chincho is just lantern in Japanese with the syllables reversed. Choshin, Chincho. Amazing, isn't it? I remembered something today. I couldn't say I learned something today because I already learned it.
I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just pan the camera up. Oh, do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruhodo? I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. Watch, it starts moving because it's a person. Hello?
Wait a minute.
What on earth? How can... I don't believe it. A black monocle! Mr. Naruhodo, is it possible that this man is... Yes.
I called it!
Look at the chin on that picture. It's Old Man Jenkins! I mean Enoch Drebber! The color of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him! It's unmistakably him! Don't take my line, Susato. Sorry.
Indeed, it is.
Mr. Sholmes! Alright, okay. Why have we not seen a Sherlock Holmes Scooby-Doo crossover? Wait, let me just double check that didn't already happen in the 70s or something. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, I see you. Infringing all copyright. Oh no, yeah, they've already had many episodes of Sherlock Holmes. Let's see. First appearance in a Scooby-Doo episode. Oh, it was in Scooby and Scrappy. No wonder I don't remember. I tried to block it out of my memory. The Night Ghoul of Wonderworld. Okay then.
This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe.
Yes, that's right. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? Sholmes, open your eyes. You're missing a raid.
No, let me think. Let me think for a second. I have this sneaking suspicion, I feel it, that we are getting raided by Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider, go ahead and give yourself a shout out.
Guys, go check out Kamen. He was playing Dragon Quest 3 today, and you know I can't help but enjoy. At this point, I'm gonna make a Kamen Rider command. Alright, sir, how was it? How was the Dragon Quest? We're in the middle of an investigation. Some truth bombs getting dropped. The waxwork figure finally being returned to Madame Tuspel's. And if you have no context for that, just let it be known for the record that I absolutely called that it's going to be a figure of someone we know. Hope you had a good time, sir. And why does the convict behind him have no head?
The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it.
I bet for good reason. What a surprise. It would make it too obvious otherwise. So, then the case isn't yet solved, is it?
Did I not say so myself? Largely sold were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head tout de suite, as Madame would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. Get it? Grave trouble.
No, Sholmes, I don't get it.
Oh, you see, it's a pun.
I get it, Sholmes.
A very hungry Irish still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Ah! Now, don't lose your head over it. He already did.
Do you know, though, something about this room is strange. A lot about this room is strange, Susato. Strange? What do you mean? Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not?
Indeed they are, Mrs. Zato. Do go on.
This is a long case. Oh, it is. I do find, if you want to play the Great Ace Attorney, in general, the game is longer than any one Ace Attorney game. Even, I'd say longer than Spirit of Justice, longer than Apollo Justice, longer than Miles Edgeworth Investigations Justice. It's the wordiest of the series, but I think it doesn't waste its words, usually. And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever really have happened, could it?
I think it's time I educated you a little. about the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago.
Oh. He said the thing. He said the thing. Any Ace Attorney fan will tell you. When you get told about the events from X years ago, you hang on to every single word. The resurrecting convict.
I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, every one being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty.
One of them broke Van Zeeks' brother.
All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies.
Baskerville hounds.
Oh gosh! An enormous hound? How awful!
I know this one. This is the plot to Cruella. This is the plot to Cruella. That's why she doesn't like Dalmatians.
No, not that. After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted.
Closed court? So you mean that professor's identity?
As you surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public.
But how could they have made a wax figure of him then?
Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging.
No. What? That's the resurrecting spirit that they were talking about in the... Okay. That's the name of the chapter. Yeah, the return of the great departed soul. Sapphire. It's the professor?
He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair.
Oh?
The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life.
Came back to life?
Yes, that's what I said. Did you not hear me? Metal Gear. He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard.
He can't be tried again. Double jeopardy.
The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness of those chilling events.
There was a witness?
But of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than the young man in the white overcoat.
Oh!
Enoch Drebber. He saw what happened. Drebber was the witness. Then who was the professor? I have my suspicions.
It's gotta be.
Let me just make a quick once-over of all the people involved, because I forget names. Assman. How do I forget Assman? Look at that smug face. You know what? I'm kind of glad he's dead. I don't want that person looking at me in real life thinking he's better than me just because he has money. Just because he teleports.
Jeez.
So, this is a waxwork model of Enoch Drebber. Enoch Eber.
10 years ago.
Looking sus there, my guy. Looking sus, looking smug. I pretend I do not see it. Nictasa, how you doing? Welcome on in. Also, William Shamster, should you make a jack attack? If you want, it's up to you. If you want to spend the points, that's what it's for. We do need a little cleanup on this exhibit. I think Sholmes messed it up when he put it back together, honestly.
The convicted professor having been gibbeted and buried.
Gibbeted. That's a $10 word. Reduced to jibs.
And buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night.
Only people who played Half-Life and Counter-Strike know what jibs are.
The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old.
What a coincidence. If I find Enoch Drebber's profile, he's 35. 35? With hair that silver? Must be very stressed. And Team Fortress 2, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's so horrifying.
Scared out of his wits,
I like that little echoing sound in the background, by the way.
the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight.
Yes, as shown as the photograph if we have of him. His hair is completely white.
For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page in the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life.
So he was Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen. He was number one. Number one murderer.
As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at ManokAdobo. Squidge 'em up, welcome on in. How are you doing? Welcome, we're learning some lore today.
The great departed soul turns out to be the professor, the murderer. Not Professor Hairbrain, but the murderer from 10 years ago. Dun dun dun! Apparently he came back from the dead, and Enoch Drebber was the sole witness? Is his testimony trustworthy? Or is he trying to cover something up, I wonder?
I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing in the first place.
Grave robbing?
In a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night.
Yes, what was he up to?
Necromancy! Oh, I knew it! I knew Barack Fensix was a vampire!
The professor was just another one of his mindless victims following the execution. All right, Barack, I'm gonna stop you right there. Stop biting people's necks as much as they like it. We can't have you turning more people into vampire zombies.
The professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago.
Even more panic than Jack the Ripper.
Wow. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society.
Getting some Danganronpa vibes. Worst thing to happen in human history, I'll say. I guess maybe London's history.
And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder.
That dog! He should have never been made to train to kill. Dogs should be friends, not weapons. Oh, poor pupper. Yes, I can imagine the impact the case must have had.
But in time, of course, the rumors abated, and the Jacks attacked.
Speaking of Jack the Ripper, Jack Frost is also a, I believe, a British folktale. Anybody know the origin of Jack Frost? We're cleaning up the streets. There's so much blood. Thanks for the Jack attack.
But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale.
Herlock dropping bars.
But why did people stop believing it?
That's how public discussion goes. They get bored. No matter how horrifying, no matter how terrible, it's just another event.
Why, simply because there was no resurrection to speak of, as was established, in fact.
What? What do you mean by no resurrection?
The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution.
But this was before DNA testing. How are they sure it was his body? What if he just, killed some schmuck and just put him there in his place?
No! But that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers.
You know, that is likely too.
That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently banished from society, and nothing has been heard of him since. It's rather striking, then, that he should resurface now, don't you think?
Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. It's not possible. Spirit channeling won't have been invented for another 100 years.
till my great-great-grandson meets a spunky young spirit channeler medium named Maya Fey. I'm psychic, you know. I know the future. But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. Really, Ryunosuke, you're gonna believe it based on hair? He could have easily dyed it. I'm sure they had invented hair bleach by now, which is just bleach. Huh. Let me examine a little bit more, huh? Look at this nice little owl in the back. Isn't he friendly? Why is my avatar 3D? Oh, and the jacket tag. That was from when I played Persona 5 Strikers. I had a different VTuber back then. Yeah, I meant to keep that only as an April Fool's joke. I never meant to keep it for as long as I did. Right now, I'm in 2D mode, so it's not as distracting for Great Ace Attorney. But it'll be back. It'll be back someday. Better than ever. Mark my words. I just need time to work on it. Yeah. Jack Frost, one of the many versions of Old Man Winter. Stories were popular in England and the colonial US. Does he nip at your nose? Maybe at your toes? Roast some chestnuts on the open fire, huh? Very nice. Maybe the final trial? Well, I still need to make my new and improved VTuber. It's alright, I'm okay with this one. This one you can activate sus mode and hair mode. Don't you guys like that? This must be the killer! The fiend known as the Professor! What the? Oh, that's horrifying. There you go. Fixed it. Just disembodied eyes. Super sus. Thank you for the sus, Unstoppable. Yes, I think so, according to what Madame Tispel said. He killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place. I'm just... lifelike, huh? I'm just appreciating my beauty right now. Look at me. I'm all dressed up for the gala ball. I know, it looks like it could start moving any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps you should examine it in a little more detail. We already examined Mr. Not Drebber over there, and his spade and or shovel. The spade was sus, it had eyes. I'm gonna rip your head off and examine down your neck. So this is the condemned man. Looks like already condemned and, hanged himself. Yes, the so-called Professor. Professor Layton? Then perhaps... his head was chopped off by a guillotine! What do you think this is, France? But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost! Zoinks! Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mr. Zato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see? Then, perhaps Mr. Sholmes absent-mindedly forgot to reattach it? That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum. And what would an extremely absent-minded thief that would be? As absent-minded as this wax sculpture. Haha. Could there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Yeah, to increase suspense. Because if we had known that it looked exactly like Mr. Assman, then we'd be able to piece things together, I bet. But whatever the reason, that's just my theory. Could be wrong, could be right. Hope I'm right. It means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. What's wrong with his fingers? There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. It looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece, too. Broken glass, you say? It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say. Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder? I don't know. I suppose it must have been made in thick to increase its strength? But Why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example.
Well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken too. You wanna put those together, Ryunosuke? We wanna fit those puzzle pieces.
You don't mean...
Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition. The man does have brain cells. Enigmatic Shark, welcome on in. It's me, your boy Two-Pack Shark, Sharkour. Where's your homie finger-licking Mr. Chicken? Hey! You just see me enter stage left. We're ready for a set. Does that mean you're a hologram shark? Whatever form you may be in, it's such an honor for your presence. How's it going?
But why would glass from the Crystal Tower be enlarged inside this waxworks jacket?
I'll give you a guess, Susato, just one. It makes you think, doesn't it? Nah, Ryunosuke doesn't have logic. You're right. He can't even do something as simple as put pieces of evidence together in his mind. He can't go... Eureka! Earlier in court, we established that the kinesis experiment was a trick. My boy doesn't even do logic chest. SMH. My head. And now we discover this fragment of glass here on this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence?
I think not.
Or maybe so. There is nothing else to this, is there? 139. Alright, okay. I guess that's it. Well, that means there's something else we gotta do. Talk to Mr. Sholmes about it, maybe. Oh, no.
Oh, bleeding Nora, kiddo! What have you gone and done?
It wasn't me, I swear. What are you talking about? This? This headless dude? That's an exhibit! Gina, what are you doing here? Ah! The gun! She has the gun! Wait, don't shoot!
I asked Iris, and she said this is where you be, so... So! Gina! Not so loud in the museum!
I'm about to go blasting off!
Madame Dispels will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful.
Yo! No firing live explosives, even if it is just a smoke grenade. I think there must be a more pressing concern.
I still had some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... So? All right, Gina, we understand, but please, put down the gun!
I don't want to go blasting off again! You know, in a sort of cosmic way, Ryunosuke and Susato do kind of resemble Team Rocket. As in, the girl is the one with all the smarts, and Ryunosuke is the one that, has a nice voice. Prepare for trouble. Oh, no, wait, Jesse says prepare for trouble. And make it double.
Sorry, I got scared.
I'll just say this pout is adorable. I'm very sorry. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina? Have I seen James do alliteration? I saw that clip. Excellent use of the letter C. If you could link it, we'll take a listen.
What brings me here? What do you think? We found it! We found the Dojiko's workshop!
Yeah! The power of Dogos shine. You see, Professor, that's how you use Doggos. To investigate, not to kill. That's it, Toby. You're the real hound of Baskerville. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Just give him a little pound on the head. Well, you found Drebber's workshop? Look at Toby. Ow.
Yep. Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss on the others are heading over there in a drag, so go on.
Oh, they're heading over in drag, are they? Well, you know, I won't judge what they wear. Seems pretty informal for an investigation, though.
Oh, don't worry, it's a very nice dress. Here's the address. I've got the boss to write it out. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once.
Toby's little eyebrows. I know, right?
All right, then. See you there.
Sweet.
Sholmes, what's up? You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here. Being still. Sholmes, would you like to come along? No. No. Are you sure? No, I'm staying here. We have a sippy cup and some string cheese. You really have that? No. Then I'm not going. Fine. What? He's dead, Jim. I know my place. In the exhibit. Over there. Oh. He's got that sad, shadowy brimmed eyes that anime always has. Oh dear. Someone is feeling sorry for himself. The Giselle Brett cut. Except this time, not menacing. And no swans on his head, too. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words heartened me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here, Madame would have me pay monetary recompense and Iris's dinner plate would be empty once more. Forget that! I'll pay for everything! Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hire a carriage at once! And I'll get one of those expensive Ubers. Uber? What's Uber? Is that English? Is that German? I don't... What? Sholmes! Sholmes, what are you... Don't worry, Naruto, my boy. I'm already entering the app as we speak. No offer to share the cost with Mr. Sholmes, then. You hate Giselle. Everybody hates Giselle. It's a case where it's a villain that you absolutely love to hate because she has almost absolutely no redeeming factors. She's just a terrible person. And you'd think in the second game when we hear a little bit more about her, like, oh, maybe she had a good reason for being racist and trying to kill people. No, she didn't. She did not. I shall gladly pay off, Mr. Naruto. It's okay, Susato. But take five shillings off of it. You paid for the entrance fee here. Thank you, Miss Susato. Right, let's go. Look at that, splitting the bill. You think Team Rocket hang out with each other after work? Oh, absolutely. Remember, they sleep outside because they don't actually have abodes. They don't sleep in the Team Rocket headquarters. They just sleep in the park. They spend all waking moments together. It's really quite sad. 23rd October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. When she invites you to come over and pay recompense, eh? Ho ho ho. You liked her? Shut up! You know what? I need to go play the first game again on this collection because I don't know what the shut up sounds like in actual English. I'm hoping they kept it because it just sounds a little... It sounds very obvious it was done by a Japanese voice actress. Shut up! That looks like... Hey? An exact duplicate of the teleporter thing? Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine! Just when I thought I was done saying that phrase.
Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype, naturally.
You legit thought I said Uber. Fun fact, I was introduced to Uber by my Australian coworker at the time. So I thought it was called Uber the very first time I searched for it. He's like, yeah, just download the game. It's called Uber. I'm like, okay, just go. I went to the Google Play Store on my phone. I'm like, O-O-B-A. I don't see it in here. Hey, it's just Uber. Oh, you mean Uber? Yeah, Uber. Freaking. Jeez, that's not the first time that his accent has confused me. In the office kitchen, when we're getting coffee, like, he was just talking about like, oh yeah, just fill your cup with some coffee, mate. So I went to go to the coffee mate, as in the non-dairy creamer that goes in coffee,
coffee and just filled the entire cup with it and handed it to him. Is like, that's not what I wanted. I want some coffee, mate. Okay, you should have been more specific. If he wanted coffee, mate, he would have said he wanted some coffee, mate. So you got it. So you got it, then. Super sus.
Gina, well done for finding this place.
Be forewarned, they made her even worse. How could she be even worse? How could Giselle Brett be even worse? Oh my goodness.
And in such little time, you've really worked miracles. It's Toby here was a miracle worker.
I love when she holds him like a gun. Like pew pew pew, pew pew pew. Say hello to my little dog. Coffee, mate.
Oh, I thought you lot would show up before long.
Gregson, I thought you were gonna be here in a dress. Hello? Are your chips too salty? What's with that face? Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. It's positively quilted. He looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Although, fish and chips with lemon, delicious. My coworker knew what he was doing. I bet. You know, he listens to my stream sometimes. Hey, Ben, if you're out there right now, tell me, did you do that on purpose?
So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer?
Calling Gina Inspector. No, calling Gregson Inspector. I would rather call Gina Inspector.
Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in there.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate.
According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I?
That's right, he was getting transferred there. Thank you.
Anyway, if you're open to snoop around in there, I'd get cracking, like an egg. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensic investigation team are on their way as we speak.
Them again.
I imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types.
Right.
So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down once we have the chance. And you, Sholmes? Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers.
Very true, Gregson. Very true.
But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model.
It's not gonna work here, Sholmes. They're gonna tag you as part of the crime scene. Put a little evidence tag on you. And they are not going to hesitate to just, like, clip it right through your ear. Like a cow tag. Right then, let's see what we can find in here. Gregson do love his chips. Man, I said I was going to look for a fish and chips, like, restaurant at some point. I can't present. Dang. Look at this trophy. Let's get cracking. We'll overturn every rock.
Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say?
It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. Ryunosuke, in what world is that a back massager? What? Where do you hold it? Do you use the tip? You use the tip to, like, poke into your back? What? I've no doubt if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. You may be onto something, Ryunosuke. Oh yeah, the judge sees Sholmes in court like,
Nice earring, Mr. Sholmes. Where did you get it?
oh, at the crime scene. I'm evidence. Present me. Just so very excited.
Oh, I've never gotten to be evidence before. It's quite exciting. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor.
Except maybe a research grant.
Ah. Would you like a massage? A massage?
Gotta remember to pronounce words extra British. No, I'm fine, thank you. just like Apollo Justice. I'm fine! I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I mean, with the way it's just scattered about.
I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks.
I couldn't agree more, my dear madame. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? Or your tired shoulders, of course.
Ah, yeah. It's not every day we get to massage ourselves with evidence.
What about me?
No, I'm not going to massage myself with you as evidence, Mr. Sholmes.
Are you sure? I took a class in Thailand. I know how to do a mean back rub.
He's not going to let that go, is he?
It's curious though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times.
Doot, doot, doot. I want to investigate this thing and see if Enoch Drebber's name is on it. Because if it's anything else, it might be like revealing his pen name or something. Or not pen name, but like real name. I haven't even looked at this yet. This is 3D. It looked 2D at first. I can't find anything out of place. This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide. It's almost a cube. Maybe it's the Tesseract.
Yes, I've never seen anything like it.
If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes has such thick skin.
There's really no need for such comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know.
Maybe I should say it's got a thick head. Thick skull, even. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely.
Don't call me Shirley. Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of that great structure.
Now, here's something that is actually impressing me. And you don't see it too often in video games. But when you have something transparent like glass... Sorry, this has nothing to do... This has nothing to do with the Great Ace Attorney. This is just like video game nerd stuff. If you have something transparent, but you can see the other side of the transparency in the back of it, like layering transparencies, that is actually technically impressive. Because a lot of the times the way you do transparency is just say like, oh yeah, make the transparency layer and make sure you can see the layer behind it. If there's a transparent object behind a transparent object, the side effect is it becomes invisible. But I can see parts of the model here. Royal Society Award. Who are you? Let me see if I can read it from here. Furthering burgeoning infant for the future of scientific discovery. Infant. Probably not what it says. There's a little metal plaque here, look! Origination, how's it going? How's it going yourself? How was Bravely Default 2? Doing a little grinding I saw. Honestly, I should probably like embrace the fact that RPG streams are sometimes just gonna be 100% grinding. Cause I need more games where I can just talk about nothing and don't have to worry about advancing the plot. Yeah, Origination, how you doing? Can we get a shout out for Origination? Lover of RPGs, as you may or may not know. We're investigating a mad scientist's lab, and Sherlock Holmes is evidence.
Don't forget me.
He's got an official tag on his ear and everything. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery.
It seems rather ironic, doesn't it?
It's clearly a high award, but it doesn't have his name on it. But clearly Mr. Drebber really was a very talented scientist. I don't know. I don't believe it. Is there something inside it? Can you open it? Maybe there's the ashes of like some ancient spirit medium in here. Like Ace Attorney would do that. Stares straight into camera. Ooh, the camera though. Speaking of, let's just expose that film, shall we? Common, thanks for shouting out our Origination. Check it out, we found this back at the Wax Museum. Video game design. Yeah, it's a topic that I think streamers should talk about more. And I will gladly get into when this game isn't moving at a breakneck speed, but it kinda has to. Oh look, the cover came open!
Yes, now, there should be a glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each new photograph you want to take, you see.
but it's empty. Is something wrong?
There's no plate. It's been removed.
Ah, what a pity. But I suppose if you think about it, this wouldn't be the actual camera that was used at the time, just like the waxwork isn't the actual person. So we never have found a photographic print of the executed convict coming back to life anyway. You'd think this was the actual camera? Maybe it was.
Oh, yes. You're quite right, of course.
Poor Susato-san, she looks devastated. She was really on to something, huh? I feel bad for her. She was so excited. Ooh, I love these cameras. The one with the telescopic, like, accordion thing. There's blood on it. Excuse me? What?
What a wonderful machine.
I love the color scheme. This haphazard camouflage red. Wait a minute. You really love contraptions like this, don't you?
Oh, yes. Anything mechanical I find absolutely irresistible.
Uh-oh. Like the mechanical Herlock Sholmes robot? In the Wax Museum? Almost irresistible, surely.
Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. I simply have to take it apart.
That's worrying. No, that's cool. Can you put it back together, though?
Yes, Father tells the time by the rumblings of his stomach now. He's given up having a watch.
Oh! Well, I'm sure he's enjoying his time with you abroad, buying all the pocket watches he can. Poor Professor Mikotova. The love plot thickens. What, are you shipping Susato and Herlock Sholmes now? Reminder, Susato is 16 at this moment in time. Even speaking myself as someone who definitely theorizes that Susato and Ryunosuke could get together in a couple of years, like way down the line. I am just going to say, I'm going to hold off on doing any outright shipping at this moment. Hey, look, a ladder. Or a step ladder. What on earth is this? A plane! Just crushes on robots. Alright, okay. You know, I love giant robots. You love giant robots. Chicks dig giant robots. It's nice living here in Jersey, fighting villains from afar. You gotta find first gear in your giant robot car.
An aeroplane, Mr. Naruhodo. One day, scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies.
Is that how the trick will be described, is it?
Sorry?
Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it? That's not how it works in real... Naruhodo!
Oh, well, this model is yes, but a real aeroplane would actually fly high in the sky.
While suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course. Because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in mid-air unsupported. The Wright brothers haven't flown yet.
So to you, the solution is ever taller towers?
It worked for Spider-Man. Honestly, if Peter Parker ever got bitten by a radioactive spider in any city other than New York, he'd be screwed. Like, New York, like, Los Angeles, maybe if we stuck to downtown. But even then, there's only so many buildings. It's not like Manhattan, where you can just traverse the whole place from side to side, edge to edge. And, say if it was Texas, well, there you go. Just outright unable to do anything useful.
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. The machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There'd be serious repercussions if you were to examine it. From the Crown and the government, I thought we had permission.
Okay. Well, I see some laws are already getting broken. Those two don't seem to be holding back. You know, they're not officially involved in the case, so I don't know if the act actually applies to them. They just trespassed.
It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow.
Ah, but that's the trick, Mr. Sholmes. I think the real one is also hollow.
No loose change dropped on the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Toby here, my dear fella.
Do you expect bones? Human or otherwise?
British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they?
I think that's just these two, Miss Susato. Especially these two. They're like two peas in a plant. Not a pod, but an entire plant. Ooh, I can look up. Hold on, there's a quiver over here. Spider-Man's clone had to deal with that when he moved to another city. Oh, those silly, silly comic lines of plot.
It's a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside.
What does an Eastern-style quiver look like?
Oh, do you suppose?
Crossbow bolt, please. And just the right size for that bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds.
Oh, in other words...
Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. There goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam.
Which we knew, but I'm so glad we're confirming. Oh! You did some dishes. Did you miss anything? Well, we came to Drebber's lab. We're investigating, seeing ever more evidence that he is indeed responsible for everything that went down with the hot air balloon. Balthazar Lune can rest easy knowing that his balloons are safe. Miss Weinrib, how you doing? Sometimes there's block of shorter buildings in the city. Oh yeah, Spider-Man can use those. He'd do more hopping than web swinging, I guess. In that way, he'd be more like a jumping spider, you know? And as much as I don't want to think about jumping spiders, it seems like they're the variety of spider that have recently taken abode in my house. In my apartment. Again, I try to let spiders live because they're supposed to be nice. They protect me from the other creepy crawlies. But can they not jump? Please? I just walk near it and all of a sudden it goes from like a desk to another desk. I'm like, cool. Show off.
This door doesn't want to open.
Did I examine the blood on the camera? Oh, you know what? I just assumed they would talk about it. I'll go back to that. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it.
There's a specialist locksmith on the way over from the yard. So hands off till he gets here.
Oh, I think I hear him in the distance. This specialist. Wrong specialist.
With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock opened in less than a minute. Well, you don't have permission. And no one's giving it to you.
Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that. He definitely has that little smug look. He's like, well, he's always kind of looked like Luigi. But at this moment, I imagine like, ha ha, Luigi gonna win. By doing absolutely nothing. By allowing Sholmes to do absolutely nothing.
Luigi not afraid.
If there's anything I really love about Great Ace Attorney, which is a lot of things about it, the fact that it has two detectives when most Ace Attorney games just have the one. So instead of just ideas and quips bouncing between the detective and Ryunosuke, Ryunosuke and or Phoenix Wright, it's actually the detectives bouncing off each other, even though they're supposed to be on the same side. Oh, poor Sholmes. Can we get a sad in chat?
Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side.
No, Drebber must have fled at first sign of danger. Oh, you're right. Technically 3 detectives with Gina. Oh, it's gonna be pure chaos. Wait a minute. Who's that over there? Shh. We might have a culprit. He might be here.
Oh,
Is something wrong, Mrs. Zato?
well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What you reckon, Toby?
Bark, bark.
Right, mind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up. It's the Scotland Yard.
Ah, yes, there's a horse. No! A dog? But it couldn't be the Hound of the Baskerville from 10 years ago. That dog would be ancient by now.
Oh my! Someone is in there!
This rotten bleeding lock! My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, if only it were countenanced, I could unlock that door in less than a minute.
He's the specialist now.
My chips!
Honestly, the bottom of that newspaper has to be like pure mashed potato by now.
Fine, I'll take a rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door.
Oh, he's done.
There, you may enter at will.
He finished before I start talking!
You confuse minutes with his seconds, I think. Milliseconds.
Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for?
In truth, Herlock was actually working on it as we spoke.
Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you'll seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow.
I don't know, action. I thought this was a visual novel. Yes! Ooh, I'm scared.
What? Hello?
Ah, Bob!
What? What's happened in here? We might want to get out of here real quick, like.
Why is everything upside down? Actually, you're right. Why is everything upside down? Yo, the furniture, the cabinets, the pictures are right side up. There's a right side up balloon. There's footprints on the ceiling. Let's see what else. Upside down. The safe is right side up, but it's bolted to the floor. Wait, does this room rotate? Also, what's with the bomb?
Rats! Ain't no one in here at all. But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises.
Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away. Or maybe they're inside the wardrobe. Ryunosuke, you know something about that, don't you?
But there's only one door into this room.
No windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high.
Well, what if they weren't too high? What if they were on the ground? Huh? What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? I'm sorry. What did Gregson just say?
Blow me! What will we hear then?
That just caught me off guard. just caught me a little off guard. I'm sorry.
Well, blow me down.
Oh! Get your mind out of the gutter, everybody. It's a Britishism. It got auto-modded by people posting it in chat.
Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry.
Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints.
To what?
To that Professor Airbrain's balmy machine, is it? Blimey! If we'd had these, there'd been no need to book about trying to investigate all that scrap metal.
Well, if we had the blueprints, we could prove that the machine differed from it. We're just gonna leave that bomb there.
There is something of great interest here, too.
Oh, Sholmes was in the corner. I didn't even see him.
This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of the pillar.
A rope? What's significant about that? He could have climbed out. I see. That's why there's footprints. Because he repelled against the window.
Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, is it time for another great deduction? Can we make sure that bomb is disarmed, please? It's fine. We would have died by now. It would have blown up if it was in any way armed.
We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too.
Oh, he's just staring at it. He's just looking.
Curious and curiouser. This device seems to be attached to some dynamite. Wow, I've never seen anything like it. It looks just like in the cartoons. Wow. You think it's dangerous?
Yes, Mr. Sholmes, I think it's very dangerous. Let's investigate everything but that. Wine Rib says he didn't answer question. About to head to bed. But you heard about New York City. Hey, no problem. Thanks for coming on by, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed Herlock Sholmes. He was especially feisty this episode, don't you say? Great deduction? Great deduction, baby. There's no denying it, is there? They're footprints.
Yes, it would appear so. And I simply can't imagine how they can be there. Isn't there a Susato shoot-up or something? Like a Susato takedown, I mean.
Just like toss me into the ceiling.
I'm no Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruhodo.
Hey, that's a nice name for a superheroine. You should trademark that. Then DC's gonna pay you in a couple hundred years. That would make it almost superhuman, I suppose. Hey, DC references. Are we gonna start saying that we should make comics about Herlock Sholmes, the Great Detective? Call him Great Detective Comics?
Almost every piece of furniture is upside down.
Even Mr. Sholmes' suite isn't ever in this much of a mess.
You're in no position to comment on mess, Mr. Naruhodo.
I suppose it's not quite the same thing, is it? I mean, it's not messy in hair per se. It's just that everything is literally upside down. I mean, there's some books that would beg to differ.
But why? Susato yeet! Susato toss!
That's a really lovely model. It looks like a real flying balloon.
I think it's probably staying aloft on the same principle as a full-size balloon, using gas.
Well, it'd have to drop down sometime. A green flying balloon. It does have the hallmarks of that amazing deception at the Great Exhibition, doesn't it? Which means that Drebber probably used it to test his act. Could it be? The whole thing was planned here in this very workshop? Oh, you know it is. Wonder what the safe is about. Did someone say gas? I'm not pressing the button. I've pressed it too many times. I've gone over budget. Every time I press the button, I gotta pay like 5 entire shillings, and Susato covered me last time. That's a very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Sholmes could open that lock. I'm sure the lockpicking lawyer could. Just like unscrew the hinges. The hinges are on the outside. Actually, that's terrible. Yeah, no, that's a sign of a really bad lock. A really bad safe. If the hinges are on the outside, that means you could disassemble them from the outside and just like take the door off. Although if you were a thief, you could just steal the entire thing, I suppose. That's heavy.
It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that sort of underhand trick, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well then, you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose. Naruhodo?
Susato, could you just Susato toss for a minute? I'm sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all. Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever is inside must be very important. Naruhodo, stop saying dumbass things!
Mr. Sholmes, you sound something. A Shakespeare dance. I shouldn't make it a redemption that just makes Shakespeare dance in the corner, huh?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. I found that we have 5 seconds to live. What do you make of this?
Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. Makes sense, or else he'd panic immediately. Looks like a bundle of thick
Miss Susato, what's the matter? Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it?
What did you say?
A time bomb!
Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly?
Oh, you are truly one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo.
I won't take that as a compliment.
Ha! You don't know nothing, do you, Odo?
Is this the time to be berating me about my lack of the English language? I'm from another country. What's your excuse? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina?
I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance.
Oh, good. Thank you. You know, we spent literal minutes in this room. Glad to know I wasn't in danger the entire time. Yeah. Ghost Dog VG, welcome. We just dodged a bomb. Literally.
Oh, well, thank goodness, but then what is it?
Stupid Sholmes, you made me look bad. A booga booga booga. Why is he posing like a K-pop star? Oh, that's the thing, Squidgy Bump. Sholmes is a K-pop star. You ever seen him with his hat off? I should be using the DLC costume. I'll put that on for next stream.
I see, so that's it.
What's Gina's excuse? No proper schooling. You know what? That's true. Actually, she is a street ruffian. But still, though.
Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen to the heart of the matter?
There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. Or I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. As you see, I have 5 brain cells.
Yeah, I know the brain cells. What do you know that we don't, Sholmes?
But I've learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Miss Susato.
Oh, poor you. First world problems, eh?
I am just so smart.
100 IQ, 200 IQ, maybe even 300 IQ. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming. Oh, here it goes.
Once again, I can draw 2 conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first...
Sholmes, next BTS member, let's go.
The inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself.
Ow! But how could you...
Also, Ghost Dog, how you doing? How was your stream today? Weren't you playing, Hold on. I know it. You were playing something good. You were playing Mario Odyssey. Was that your first stream of it? I don't remember. I don't recall you playing it before. If this is the first time you played it, I hope you've had some absolute fun with it. It's one of my favorite platformers in recent time. It's just so... I don't know, it's just so out there. Every world a different place, every continent, every kingdom a different theme, and that's just so fresh. You know, after Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy, I would like a little more variety other than, here, have beach level, here, have space level. I know that's simplifying it. I know there is variety within Sunshine and Galaxy, but like, Odyssey brings it back to full variety times.
And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine.
So it is a bomb. It's just not lit, fam.
Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything.
It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade.
Oh.
I missed.
This is my new favorite expression. Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea. Absolutely chuffed his chips. New thumbnail? I think so. Scrunkly Gregson. Man's looking more wrinkled than a raisin on the 4th of July in the middle of the summer sun.
Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done.
Susato, I have missed your unusual optimism when it comes to Sholmes. I've missed it dearly.
You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Miss Susato.
Oh, yes. I'd be delighted.
So, shall we begin?
Let's.
Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning. Spectacular!
Whoa, Sholmes, how'd you do that?
I ate a megaphone.
The great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. clipped furniture. Conclusion.
It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray.
Got that right.
The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down.
Some things aren't, but that's probably not the point.
Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling.
You don't think the room rotates, do you? Like Inception?
Before falling straight down to the floor.
Every item in the room is on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that?
Whoa, what is that? Safe? 4-3 something 582?
Indeed, the key here.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's cool.
Sholmes! You're a psychic! You're moving things with kinesis!
Is gravity. Whoa!
Damn! Inception!
It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business.
Interesting, the gravity part is not the point I can change. It's the inverted furniture. Also, I like how this font looks. I think they made this font for this game. Look at how it, like, makes the letters all nice and, well, yes, thick, that's bold, but look at the eyes dotted with little diamonds and little swoosh, the thickness as it varies on the V. I'm just nerding out over fonts.
I quite understand your skepticism, Miss Susato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to the one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact.
You dreamt about bombs? Whoa.
What? Why does it have a clock on it?
Does it keep rising? Is it gonna go out of frame? Oh. 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 Oh, it's going. Oh, it's still going. It's still going. Oh, it's kind of stopped, I think.
A most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch.
We're playing Mega Man 5 now? Gravity Man?
There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically.
Or else he'd just fly into the sun, Mr. Icarus.
And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred.
Ooh. I am not gonna get used to that.
Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because, in fact, just sit right there, because I'll tell you all about how my life got turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you all about how I became the Prince of Bel-Air, because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need to look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room.
People say this is their favorite deduction. I can already see why.
The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely this scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed.
Alright, calm down, Doc Brown. We don't need to capacitate no flux here. Because gravity was reversed, of course, yes. Topic 2, missing engineer. The engineer got T-mono balance, that's why. Engineer.
Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? North America aim? Or United Kingdom aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up here on the
Oh, yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up here on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam.
Look at the lighting! My god!
The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there is but one way into this room, except in the skylight, that is.
Ah. Whoa, I'm gonna be sick.
By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way.
Whoa. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently?
Not unless he did a really cool tactical roll. Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so to escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling.
I'm thinking it was quite the opposite.
Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival.
The man's class. Such confidence in his utter bullshit. Oh, I love him. Oh!
He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. Personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun.
Sholmes, don't light the bomb. Sholmes, don't light the bomb. You just stop right there. Escaped via the skylight. Nice Sholmes impression, Susato. I've been working on it.
This concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle.
Yoshi's Topsy-Turvy Island DS. I heard that game was only decent.
Shocking, I know. How right I can be.
She's completely spellbound. Susato. Earth to Susato. Maybe you're up in space right now. My goodness. Alright, time to bring everybody back down to Earth because I have the real explanation. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me.
I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life.
Well, as much as my life I'm living at your place, yes. The thing is there such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean. Gregson clearly in cardiac arrest. Not from his food. I'm sure, it contributed to some plaque, but Sholmes was just the catalyst.
I would say that with the man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis.
You're the one that said it wasn't. Your whole deduction hinges on it.
Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Hey, he said the thing.
However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom.
Gregson and the Epic Heart Failure. Oh, that's Iris's next book. He always wanted a book written after him. Too bad it was the one he would last ever be in.
I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy.
Wow, that must be K6 of this game. Nice DLC. Yeah, yes, I have a reason. I read it in something that Mrs. Zato lent me once.
Objection!
Objection! Susato's got an objection, I love it. That's different from the one she had in court, right? Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the spell's broken at last. The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it?
Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the wall.
But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape in the way that you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall?
That's what I'm thinking.
Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, and as I think you'll find two ropes. And as evidence of such, you'll need to look only at the mystery we face in this room, now skillfully unraveled.
That argument is as circular as the coils of rope.
I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the great detective's great deduction will lead us to the truth.
Yes, you're right. And not a moment too soon. And we must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If he was ever here.
If you're ready, then let us resume.
Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there, Sholmes. Because I never actually checked the bloodstain on the camera.
What are you doing?
I just need the evidence. You see, the evidence.
I am the evidence.
Yes, your evidence. This camera's also evidence.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
What is it?
On the bellows just here, there seem to be some very dark red stains.
Aha, I knew it. Cherry jam. Yes, you're right. It looks like blood, actually.
Oh my.
I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. Bida-badu. Alright. Now I'm ready.
Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular.
Course correction! Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Flipped furniture.
It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray.
Bed, table, chairs, lamp, everything is upside down. Almost necessary to the ceiling before falling to the floor. Every item in the room was ceiling. Are you suggesting that? Oh, here we go. Zup! Wow, 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 wow. Oh, If not the furniture, then what?
I think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation.
But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so...
Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once.
Ooh, that's unusually merciless of you, Miss Susato.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he?
Well, refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices.
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or was not doing. Let's see. Well, this isn't upside down. Look, it even says upright vase. Vase, vase? Question for the chat. Vase or vase? Potato or potato? I'm just gonna read this real quick. Whirlwind? Somebody cast whoosh? Because, you know, I never read enough of these, and they are pretty amusing. But to save some time, I'm not going to read them out loud. Hope everybody can keep up. Oh, it's the same. Also the same. Boop, 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 ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. When everything else seems to be upside down in here, this safe is conspicuously the right side up. Yes, because it's bolted. Think before you speak. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? I really put my foot in my mouth there. Ugh, use some mouthwash.
I certainly didn't say that.
True, Naruhodo. I think you're finally learning. Alright, let's go to the vase. Vace! Ah yes, Vace! Wingardium Leviosa! You would like to make nobody happy and say Vasi. Okay now, calm down. Well, well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure.
Ah, look at that!
I know, that slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say?
To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me.
The fact that it's still here.
Take that!
Whoa! The effects are way over the top. Using that Capcom budget, dude. Motion capture, animations, floating furniture. The upright face clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business.
Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps?
Ooh, see, even he ships it. No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes, trust me. Ha! Look at that spin. Look at that class.
As you rightly say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down, this unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor.
And it's the exception that breaks the rule.
In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all.
My deepest sympathies for your loss.
Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes.
I bet you were never even trying to impress her.
Mr. Sholmes, she's 16.
I see. But the show must go on, so let us continue with our deductions.
I like how the second half of his argument now makes no sense. Now that he's admitted that there was no anti-gravity. You don't say.
Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here.
I think I missed something. Now that we know the contrivance is not an anti-gravity device, there remains one other possibility. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved.
Why?
Namely, why would anyone choose to do that?
Quite, and naturally there's an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. You just said it wasn't!
He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he?
I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong.
Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all the furniture over. Did you do it, Susato? Were you practicing your Susato toss?
I wasn't even in this room until you were, Mr. Naruhodo. Just saying.
So whoever it was must have had a reason.
I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though.
Well, let's go look around and see if the answer presents itself. If Sholmes doesn't have his anti-gravity device, he will cry himself to sleep. Combination is obviously it. Whoever did this must have known that there was a safe combo on the bottom of something. Which, by the way, if you ever go to an escape room, that's a tip. Look under the furniture. Look under things, because people don't look under things. And also look on top of tall things, because people don't look on top of things. Just the verticality aspect of hiding objects is something that everybody forgets. It'll save you a lot of time. Look inside books, look inside clothing items, inside pockets, underneath chairs, underneath tables. You'll never know. We've already established that gravity wasn't actually reversed in here, haven't we? In other words, this isn't an anti-gravity device at all.
Which makes me very curious to know what sort of device it is.
An actual bomb.
Well, I think for now it's clear that we're looking for an answer elsewhere.
You might even call it a logic bomb. I'm now pressing the button. That's a coal-burning heater, I think, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but it's not just for heating, you know. You can grill, bake, boil, steam.
Alright, now I'm hungry. Not unlike a heated kotatsu. With a cat and an elderly relative. Naruhodo, I think you missed Japan.
Well, you mean it seems too much? You realize only some of those things on our list are edible, don't you?
What? An elderly relative is not edible? Well, too late for me.
What?
I guess there's only about like 3 things per deduction. Look, there's something written on the underside of this armchair. Susato was just Drebber in disguise. You think they'd do that? You think Ace Attorney would have some sort of master of disguise who would be able to perfectly replicate anybody's face? That doesn't seem likely. No. Certainly they wouldn't have it as a critical plot point in any one game. Although the way they pulled it off in Yakuza Like a Dragon was perfect.
Oh yes, safe 432582.
Safe? As in safe and secure? Imagine a dance of deduction themed escape room. Like, honestly, that's what this game does. As opposed to other Ace Attorney games, I've mentioned this before, where it's like, oh yes, villain is trying really hard to lie after lie after lie, and you just don't have the evidence you need. No, the logic in this Ace Attorney game and the last one specifically deal with like Rube Goldberg-esque contraptions and leaps of logic that are only like you would only see in an escape room, honestly. And I like it. It's silly but logical. That's when Ace Attorney shines. You can still follow it, but just really? That's what happened?
As in secure lockable box, I think.
Admittedly, more likely.
Well, there's a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes.
So you mean the number wouldn't let us open it? I bet it's empty.
I wonder why it's written here, though.
To be safe and sound. That just filled a hole in a fanfic you're writing. Wonderful.
Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination.
Precisely, I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not?
Yes, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket, I noted the ticket number upside down on the inside cover of a book just in case.
That's it! For people are forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information.
Now, did you remember the book?
Just keeping this ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think.
And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo?
When the day of the draw came round, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it.
That's it! For people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they noted things down.
You'd think you remember which chair you put in under.
Not if you always note things in the same place.
But think of how insecure that is. You gotta scatter your security keys. I actually won the second prize, you know.
But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped the ticket into, so I had to turn my room upside.
Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo.
But I believe I've proved my point now.
But I'm not done yet. You need to know what happened next.
Some other time. You never did get that prize, did you?
No.
Which is that a similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room.
Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written down on the other side of a piece of furniture but forgot which one,
leading to the state in which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in here in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe.
Topic 2: Missing Engineer.
Conclusion: escaped via the skylight. Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions above our heads.
Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there?
Let's see. Skylight? Maybe? No.
Well, if it changes the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did the footprints get there?
Yes, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve.
I can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Ooh, life was so much simpler in those halcyon days when gravity couldn't be resisted.
There were never those days, Susato. Also, at this point, it's come up enough that I am going to search how to pronounce halcyon. Halcyon? I feel like I already looked this up, but I forgot. Tell me, oh wise Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Halcyon.
I was right, halcyon. Wait, what does it mean? I got the pronunciation, I didn't get the definition. Characterized by happiness, great success, and prosperity. Often used to describe an idyllic time in the past that is remembered as better than today. So almost nostalgic, huh? Halcyon. I'm putting that in my word bank. I'm gonna write it down on the bottom of an armchair. Hopefully I remember which one. It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place.
I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail.
Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations in the first place. Ooh, balloon. What? Why is there a shoe on top of it?
That's a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon. Yes, I think you're right. I think it's Alien that's keeping it up.
A green gas balloon. Why does it seem to ring a bell with me?
If you can see, there are footprints on this balloon too. Look.
Oh yes, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though what it tells us, I'm not sure. Tells us that this thing probably like bumped up against the ceiling and it just happened to transfer the footprints onto there, I bet. I do like the touch of the shoe still being on it. It looks like these are the only windows in the room. In other words, if you wanted to escape without using the door, the skylights would be the only way. Powerful springs in the soles of the man's shoes. Powerful moon shoes? Those haven't been invented yet. What, you put like flubber? You got Robin Williams up in here? You guys remember 1990s hit movie Flubber? Was it that much of a hit? I don't hear people talk about it too much, but you know, it had Robin Williams, so it holds a special place in my heart. Flubber! Remember the plot point where they like put the flubber on the bottoms of their shoes and they were able to play basketball and just like jump really high to slam dunk? Yeah, I'm sure that's... I mean, the rulebook doesn't say you can't attach jelly to the bottom of your shoes. Of course. You know, I really like the robot in that movie. I had a toy replica of it too. I wonder where it is. Maybe it's still at my parents' house somewhere. That movie was weird. Flubber came out of a person. Oh yeah, it did come out of a person's butt, didn't it? I tried to forget about that. Dude, if it went all the way through him, that must have just like absolutely perforated his colon. Rip that guy. He's about to go septic. Moon boots.
Have you been having strange dreams as well, like Mr. Sholmes?
No, I've just been alone with him and Iris for the past few months. Susato, it's been a long 6 months. Help, help, I've gone insane. I don't think there's anything else to look at. Shoe. It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there. Look.
Oh yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became large, do you think?
If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Or, you know, someone was using it? Maybe they used the balloon to carry themselves up through the skylight? Why would anyone be throwing shoes up there at the ceiling, though?
Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid.
So, it's either the balloon or the shoe. I'm gonna lean towards shoe because that's the thing that makes the footprints. That dude with the flubber totally died after that. That cannot have felt good. Flubber going through every inch of your body. Oh no, I'm dropping frames! Oh no! Thankfully, if you're watching the YouTube video, everything will be completely uninterrupted. Hello, we back? Sounds like we're back. Sorry for the frame drop, y'all. Worst company, welcome on into Frame Drop City. How you doing? Thanks for the dodge. How's it going? Playing more Judgment? I know you finished it, but are you playing it some more? The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. You're playing the World War Z game? Wait, is that game new? The movie's pretty old. I read the book. I forgot everything in the book, though. Are you still doing the Witchy Wax Museum stuff? Well, we were there a little bit ago. We found out that none other, just for a recap of everybody, that one, the missing wax dummy, one of them, there were actually two missing ones, had glass in it. And you know, it seems suspiciously similar to the glass found at the scene of the crime, or I guess scene of the crime at the Crystal Tower. Other thing is that the other wax dummy that was missing is none other than Enoch Drebber himself, the man we're trying to find. He was the only witness to see famous murderer, the professor, coming out of his own grave like a Zambo. We're trying to find the man. We're at his lab, and he seems to have escaped through his skylight somehow and let the bomb. So, you know, we might blow up any second now. That's fun.
And under closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well.
You have to escape for now. Thanks for coming by, Unstoppable. Thanks. Unstoppable has to stop. Wow. How ironic. Thanks for coming on by. Come on back to the VOD, and I'll welcome your future self, okay? But have a nice night. Welcome back, Unstoppable.
In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon.
But for what purpose?
A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data.
Ah! It was a piece of green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene.
And inside the green balloon that Mr. Gotts claims he saw above the stage when the incident occurred, Master Gotts, was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception.
You mean to say?
If we assume that the balloon in here is a model of the one used on the day, there's a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it.
Well, let's knock it down.
Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway.
But the balloon's out of reach.
Hence why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe.
And he couldn't shoot it with an arrow because the bows were outside.
Ah! Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with the shoe.
I find that funny to me. He hears us investigating and he's like,
shoe! I missed! Shoe! I missed again! Shoe! However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became present of those lofty heights.
Oh dear. We desperately need to examine the balloon.
I mean, there's only one shoe. Where's the other shoe? That wax statue in particular wasn't missing. Huh. Well, no, yeah, I don't remember another statue because we didn't see any. There was a dude there who was on the ground, but he was like one of the past jurors. He had really nothing to do with the missing statue. There was a statue missing a head and then a statue of Enoch Drebber. Like, why did I not notice either of them at the time? I guess I just never got a close look. I'm gonna have to go back to the past VOD to see.
If only there was some way we could see inside.
Pop it. Where was he? 2019 game, playing PS Now. Oh, I see. Feels like Left 4 Dead. Doesn't sound too bad. Is it better than Back 4 Blood? Honestly, I played a little bit of the Back 4 Blood data. I don't know if I like it. It just makes me miss Left 4 Dead.
You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Rope!
What better tool than the rope?
Mr. Sholmes has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope.
Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down on the rope, down to us on the ground.
Which is much easier said than done, I feel. You need some sort of grapple.
The Drebber statue. Yeah, I don't remember seeing it before. I guess we just never looked at it close enough before. If it was there.
And it could take us a very long time as well.
True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? The crossbow itself. Are we gonna just use evidence like that? I guess there's nothing else. We could also throw the screwdriver at it. We'll use the crossbow because we know for a fact it works.
Take that!
Hey, now I'm curious. Y'all really gotta make me go back to my last VOD. Let's see, I believe it was the 25th 25th? No, that would have been trial. So actually, no, 23rd is trial. Let me see. I'm just gonna open a VOD for a second. Was it really the 18th? No, that is an escapade. Was it? Maybe it was the 18th, but later in the day. Was it a day I played WarioWare Get It Together? No. Maybe I already deleted the VOD from my hard drive. Oops. Boop, boop, bop, boop. Yeah, we actually doing this. We waiting. Okay, 23rd was the trial. Maybe 16th? That wasn't the Wax Museum. Okay, it has to have been the 18th. I need to look in my real long ago past archives. Here you go, 18. I'm looking. Let me see. Inside the special area, I see... Oh, I see why we didn't notice it last time. The curtain never got pulled back far enough. We saw the grave, and we saw the rotund gentleman on the floor. Ah, so it was there all along. Or at least I can assume it was, but we just never saw it. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow? That was found at the scene, in fact. And in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber. He couldn't use it before because it was at the scene of the crime.
If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon?
Wait! Yo!
Ahead! Ah!
No, it's the missing head from the Wax Museum! The Wax Museum. I was gonna say Wax Statue and Museum at the same time. Whoa! Nice pompadour. What the? I grew hair. A waxwork? So the person that stole the statue was Enoch Drebber himself! Why did it get returned?
Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside a metal mask.
Common? But, Aw, then we really won't know what the professor looked like. I guess, okay, that answers my question from before. I can't stop looking at my hair. That answers my question from before. Like, if the identity never got made public, how did they make a freaking statue of him? That's how. Cheating! You're gonna belt out Decapitation from Brutal Legend. What, like... I never played that game, but I'm assuming, like, Jack Black? Decapitation!
Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock.
That was exactly it. If I know anything, it's how to do a good Jack Black impression.
Ready for a mosh pit?
I should also watch Nacho Libre, honestly. So we can't see the inside face, that means. Just a moment. This is the head of a waxwork model? Does that mean... Oh, goodness.
I see you've joined the dots, Miss Susato. Excellent.
Joined the dots? Ah, of course. A headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Man of Spells model that you'd largely solved. It was only that of the killer that was still missing. He was carried aloft by the balloon, and no doubt, it represents Mr. Assman. But does it actually represent Mr. Assman? Is that foreshadowing?
Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Spells will now have to settle for a sizable account with me. At least as you have now some eyes as the head of the infamous professor.
Yes. But why is it here? Assman. That's his name. Look at his name. Mr. Odie Assman. 47. Agent 47.
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it sans
Tete? Tete? I feel like I'm saying something bad.
earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber.
I think Tet. This is incredible! Professor Airbrain's case and the waxwork abduction are... they're inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop! The waxwork head has been entered into the court record. Can we just, like, crack open the lock? Odious Man is funny on its own, but it's funnier if you're familiar with Live Alive. I am not, sadly.
Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows.
Shall we disembark? Do I need to show my passport?
All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure.
Yes. Architect. No, Enoch Drebber. The architect? You mean Mr. Drebber?
As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights, obviously the man must still be here in this room.
You don't think he locked himself in a safe?
What? And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we made together during this deduction...
Oh, he is in the wardrobe! Enoch Drebber is right here. Somewhere in this room. What is he, eating chicken? Am I gonna find 3 bones of steak?
So, Mr. ManokAdobo, will you do the honors?
Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be... Dun 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 dun. The wardrobe! Need to hide? There's no better place than the wardrobe. I stand firmly by that. Ah, yes, you've had some experience of that. We'll find him in here. Mark my words. Curled up in a bowl. In fact, my own hand is trembling just thinking about making the discovery. Never mind, Mr. ManokAdobo. He could be hiding somewhere else, you know. Wait. Wait, no. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. I know exactly what I want to do. Hold on. I'm going to present the safe. Look at all that mess in front of the safe. Yes, plans and accounting ledgers. Almost as someone who's in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact. I got 5 chances. Let's waste one. Excuse me? Hello? Oh. Before we gained access to the back room, we heard noises from in here. Wait. No. Oh, damn it. I think he's actually in the safe, though. Because he was scrambling for the code. No way. Why would he do that on purpose? He'd be stuck. Glax, did I know? Kakoko. No, I did not. Thank you.
Which tells us the engineer was still in the building at the point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe.
Searching for the combination to his safe.
And pressed for time, made no attempt to write the furniture that he overturned in the process. From which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed.
No, don't be in there. No, I wanted to be wrong. No!
In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber is at the very moment inside the safe.
No!
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle.
Accidental first try. Oh, I'm so sad. I got the right answer by doing the wrong math. I'm in Wayside School.
So, Mr. ManokAdobo?
Oh, I missed out on a gag that was right in front of me.
I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide and seek. Don't you?
I'm tempted to just, like, go back and load it. By opening the safe, you mean?
What else?
Let's see. The combination was 1. When was the last time I saved? So long ago. 432582. I knew that. Alright then. Here goes. Man's really put himself in there? Sir? This is a Wendy's! You found me!
What?
Hello? You Metroid now? He's a puppet. Whoa! Hey! Hey! Alright, Michael Jackson, calm down. Oh! Shamone! Oh! He's got moves!
Right answer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume?
Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built. And you should have to explain that the wax worked for matter to spells as well. I would be delighted to answer your many questions. I don't know if I'm going for the Michael Jackson route for this. How about, maybe Sephiroth? Shall I give you despair? Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate? Your parcel? Ah, man was about to blow us all to Kingdom Come. And the safe would have offered him protection because it's frickin' explosion proof. How did he expect to be found in there if we were all blown to smithereens and presumably anybody who would come across this room after the explosion would not be able to find the armchair because it would have been blown up? There's a fatal flaw in your plan, man. Man's a cyborg, he's got the moves. And here I was just joking about mechanical wax figures.
I refer to, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in a most prominent position.
Ah!
Ha ha ha. I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then.
No! Mr. Sholmes! With only 7 seconds to spare, we spent all the time deducing! Ah! See, I saved our lives. If we had spent that extra 7 seconds checking the wardrobe, we'd be mincemeat. That was too close for comfort. I've got 1 foot in the grave already.
Are you trying to get us get a killer or get us killed?
Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave.
Please tell me that Gregson got a hold of Drebber before he ran away.
The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
Anti-gravity devices don't exist! Whew. I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes.
Shall I give you despair?
Shall I show you my badge? It might surprise you to learn that I'm actually a lawyer from the Empire of Japan. I can't believe we're just calmly having a chat with Mr. Robot Man over here. Mr. Gearhead.
I detest lawyers. They wield so-called special powers in an attempt to grind down our freedoms. Yes, let me be quite clear. I detest lawyers very much.
Any chance 2 negatives make a positive? Now, to be clear, he's not a robot. He just damaged his throat in a freak accident, so he had to create his own voice box out of mechanical parts, you know? Oops. I almost presented it to him again. Can I just like look at the man? Can I look at the wardrobe now, please? I still can't believe we were nearly blown up.
What was that sideways glance and aid of Mr. Naruhodo?
Excuse me. Apparently Sherlock Holmes did eat something on the way here. I thought that deducing meaning from the movement of people's eyes was your specialty, Mr. Sholmes.
Never mind that now. Let's see what Mr. Drebber has to say for himself.
Alright. What happened here? What on earth happened in here?
You've found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further.
Wow. Even more words to be banned by the auto mod.
Everything in here is precisely what it seems.
Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough go-over, don't you worry, Drebber.
What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop that I was not expecting.
I guess, in a way. No, yeah, in a way he's like Stephen Hawking, right? He had his own robot voice.
When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling? You mean whistling? Gina? Whistling for Toby?
Ah, that would have been me.
Oh!
You don't like the enunciating every word thing, but he's talking like a robot man.
For some reason, I woke in fine fettle today.
No words, just tightly squeezed chips. And then for taters.
Clearly I must have a screw loose though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down.
We also found a rope over by the wall.
Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe.
I'm making him talk like G-Man from Half-Life, and that's what you're gonna get.
And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters.
And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe. Having first set this parcel ticking.
Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police.
Being screwed, being nailed, getting blown. What is this game? Well, we didn't get blown to smithereens at least.
Got a death wish, have you? Hiding right beside a ticking time bomb.
Please, why do you suppose I chose to hid inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it.
So in fact, the safe was the only safe place.
Herlock, this is not the time. I said this is not the time.
Precisely.
But once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within.
Now, how would I have known that? Oh, that's the whole reason I thought it was wrong in the first place. Oh, so it is. What a trick. I love his hand. He must be the protagonist of Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, he's got an eye patch like Big Boss, even though it's a monocle.
I had always intended to blow this place to smithers in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans.
Do you? You mean to say you were planning to blow us all up?
Prosthetic hands are cool.
No, that was unforeseen.
What do you mean?
I mean, do not convict me for attempted murder. Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet.
Ah,
I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. Put your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spatter in the works.
What are you looking at? Something wrong, Gregson? I have something on my face. Besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, and precariously placed locks of hair,
Gregson and his cool new faces. Star of the show right now. Zastamir, what's up? Wasn't counting on us being dumbasses. Yeah, well, you know, never underestimate an Naruhodo. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I think we've had a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. He also didn't count on me being so dumb that I would accurately guess his hiding place first try. I want to check the wardrobe. You know what? After I finish the VOD, I'm gonna go back and open that wardrobe, replay this all just to see what was there. Like, obviously nothing, but I want that to be in the YouTube video. What about the 2 incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Hairbrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition. And the waxwork model you stole. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You lose. You get nothing, which this head belongs to. Would you guys trust this person to build you a instantaneous kinesis device? Oh, he looks pretty smart with mechanical objects.
That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection.
That's enough. No, that's enough. What's going on here, Gregson? Bayonetta! It's her! I kid you not, John. He turns himself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here. Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here. You wouldn't trust Drebber with 2 pennies and a McDonald's receipt. Unfortunately, Hairbrain had neither. He had no other option. Yeah. Genius in a black suit and Genius in a white suit. We got a regular Monokuma over here. Anime rifle showdown. I like it. Even the fact that, like, her vest is that dark shade in the middle. It's like a great contrast. I love her design, honestly. And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot, leave at once!
My dear madam, there's no need for such threatening tone, I assure you. After all, there's no way to greet an old acquaintance, isn't it, Dr. Scythe?
Sholmes just gets everywhere, doesn't he? Who doesn't he know? Hello, Sholmesy. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe? At this point, am I surprised?
If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell you...
That means you inspected it! Sholmes, don't reveal that!
Get out! But of course, we'll show ourselves the door.
I see you haven't softened at all.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Yes?
Yes! It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today.
But Mr. Sholmes!
Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands.
I said get out, now! All of you! Your presence here is not required either, Gregson.
Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it weren't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb set in there that this lot disarmed.
Inspector, he's taking the fall for us, like he promised. He's a good lad.
Hey? Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Drebber?
So sorry, didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you?
There's not another one?
Yes, you did disarm that one.
What are you? That one? You mean?
You didn't.
Oh no! Wait, Baroque's there! Uh-oh. Maybe he's not there. Still, get out of there!
Drebber, you son of a bitch!
It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage of the Great Exhibition. Professor Hairbrain's invention and all of its secrets were blown away forever.
Bad end.
To be continued.
You can't just leave it there, man. I haven't checked the wardrobe.
Drebber can't get away with this. In fact, we have him in custody, but holy shit! I am going to absolutely enjoy playing this tomorrow. Again, schedule is different this week. We're playing Great Ace Attorney again tomorrow. My usual day off is moved to Wednesday this week. So, be there or be square. Oh, rip those two bobbies. They may have been faceless and nameless, but they didn't deserve to die. Also, Mario Kimmin, welcome on in. Save complete. So, I think right there is the perfect place to leave it off. For better or worse, right at the 3-hour mark, more or less. I'm waiting in anticipation, and I hope you all are too. I don't know if I like this music for this right now. It's supposed to be victorious music. No. What evokes like a bomb? I don't know. How much sad music do I have?
There you go.
Yeah, here we go. This one's like, oh, stuff's going down. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here today for another Great Ace Attorney stream. It was a pleasure. It was my pleasure to present it to all of y'all. Catch me tomorrow for the next part of the trial, I suppose. Jeez, we fun now? Yeah, for now. For once, things have actually concluded in time. Shams, you got a song idea? Hit me. Feel free to link it. The YouTube link should be allowed. What do you got? What is this? Oh, I see what it is. I don't even need to click at that. Sure. Yeah, that's a good song. It's titled You've Been Gnomed. You know, maybe I'll listen to that one later. Maybe later. Alright, everybody, let's do the art. As always, if you thought you could get me, you gotta be a little more clever than that. You gotta put it like in a wardrobe so I'd want to check it, you know? Let's see if there's any art. As always, if you have any art for the stream, tweet it at me or post it to the Discord, and I'll put it up. As you can see, beautiful various pieces of art on the stream in my room as of right now. Nothing today, but you know where to post it. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitch to catch me live. Next time I play this, any other game, if you happen to be listening to the VOD, or if you're listening live, follow the YouTube channel so you can catch past videos if you happen to miss a day. So if, say, my schedule is different for a week. Besides that, got Twitter, got Discord, all that good stuff. Follow if you wish, it's up to you. But as always, if you
If you need to go to sleep, I will let you. Show's over. Go home. If you're already home, go to sleep. If it's not night, then join us on the raid. If you're going to sleep, have a good night and stay clucky, y'all. Bye-bye. Yeah, Pompadour.